I'm always up for experiencing cultures through their media. I decided to see if the Indian horror anthology Ghost Stories on Netflix could freak me out or if I'd get lost in translation. Four Indian directors come together to tell four different tales of horror in Ghost Stories. Now, according to IMDb, this Ghost Stories movie, the anthology, serves as a sequel to two previous films, Bombay Talkies and Lust Stories. Now, I haven't seen either of those, so I can't say if they relate, if they're tied together, or what. So I'm only going to address Ghost Stories itself. I like that the stories are different in their tone, their look and feel, even the genre within horror. There's a supernatural story, one that involves vampires, zombies, or just straight out monsters. One is of a definite psychological nature, and one is just a straight up ghost story. In each of these, the pace is fairly patient, but not slow. It allows great tension to be built in a relatively short amount of time, but it never feels rushed. While each of these is fairly creepy, the second story made me squirm and wince. Do not watch it if you're eating something, trust me. Because this is new to me, I'm not familiar with any of the actors, but they did a really good job in all of their respective roles. Whether they're playing victims, psychos, jerks, or friends, they were all convincing. If any of the four short films within this anthology have titles, we're never shown them. All it starts out, each episode, or really it's one movie, so each segment of this starts out with a black screen with the director name on it and then jumps right into the action. There are a lot of moments in this that really creeped me out, especially as things moved in or out of frame, but thankfully there were never any cheap jump scares. I mean, they really did rely on the story to just build all of the tension and then to use camera movements to really just kind of freak me out, even though nothing went wah like that. I mean, it would just, something would slowly move or it would pass behind somebody or whatever that is, enough to go, ooh, oh, did you see that? Yeesh. Now, I don't think this is going to fall into anyone's freakiest or most scary horror list, but it is a lot of fun in a creepy way. Each of the four stories are also differing in length, which I liked because that meant that the directors just told the amount of story that they needed to and took that time. The overall movie itself is about 2.5 hours, give or take a little bit there, but it didn't drag. I mean, I was sucked in. I enjoyed each of the four stories, but I gotta say again, that second one was, no, not right in any way, shapes, or form. It was just, it messes with you in something awful. Have you jumped into Indian cinema yet? I've seen a couple and I'm liking what I've seen so far. I love that it's opening up a brand new world for me, and I also love that, at least in the United States, Netflix is making more and more of these films available for us, and even TV shows. So I get to experience culture in a whole new way. So if you like creepy movies and you aren't afraid to step outside of the traditional English-speaking genre, then I suggest you give Ghost Stories a try. See if it can creep you out too. There's sex, no nudity, profanity, and a lot of violence, especially some of it being very gruesome. I give Ghost Stories on Netflix 4 out of 5 couches. So are you drawn to horror? Do you have a favorite one that you can recommend? Something that you watch over and over again? One specifically, not a huge list, because I'm sure we all have a great list of a lot of different horrors that we can watch. But if you are a fan of horror, what's one? What's one that you watch just all the time? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.